Hey guys, welcome back to another video. For today's video, I'm finally going to be doing another Did They Stay or Did They Go video where I update you guys on a haul on my channel, and these hauls go back like 1 to 2 years ago, and I update you guys on whether those fragrances left my collection, are still in my collection, how I feel about them, if I'm curious about them now, maybe I decluttered them and maybe miss them. I kind of want to update you guys on these hauls. So I don't just want to film hauls. I like to give you guys updates because fragrance is something that it can start off one way and end up a totally different way. So these are one of my favorite videos to film. And in between all of the new releases for fragrances and all of the new exciting stuff, I haven't been able to film one in a bit. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. If you love all things girly, fragrance, beauty, self-care, body care, go ahead and subscribe. I upload 3 to 4 times a week, and I would love to have you back for my future uploads. So with that said, let's jump right into today's Did They Stay or Did They Go? So before I get started on today's video, I'm going to be putting the haul that I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be putting a link to it as well as a picture of the thumbnail so that you guys know which haul I'm talking about. You guys can either watch that one if you want to watch it first and kind of see like my initial reactions for the fragrances. And today I'm going to be updating you guys on whether I kept them or what happened with those fragrances. So let's jump right in. So this haul was in 2022, January of 2022. So I need to do some catching up. So I do want to film more of these. I know that you guys really like these videos and I love to film them as well. And we're going to start off with a fragrance that was sent over to me by a niche house, and it's called Empiria Oshun V. And I don't have that one in my collection just because I have my Dolce & Gabbana L'Imperatrice and they kind of reminded me of each other, and I was trying to downsize my collection because I was going to be moving. So they reached out to me and asked me if they could send this fragrance over. I said of course, I'll give it a try. This fragrance, you guys, I kind of wish I still had it in my collection because it was a beautiful fragrance. And I'm going to read the notes of it, or actually I'm going to read a little bit about it. So Oshun V is a sexy and tropical scent. And that, you guys, it is. If you're looking for a really good tropical scent, you guys know that I was very picky with my tropical scents. I don't just label anything tropical. And I will tell you one thing. I'm Puerto Rican. If there's one thing that I'm good at doing is spotting what tropical smells like, because I literally came into this world in the tropics. So when I smelled this perfume, it literally makes you think of like a basket of like the most exotic tropical fruits. And I always tell you there's a difference from like a basket of bananas and apples and grapes. Like that to me is not tropical. Yes, it can give kind of like a tropical touch, but that to me is more fruity. Tropical to me is piña, mango, coconut, passion fruit, dragon fruit, just fruits that are just not like your typical fruit. So this fragrance did just that for me. Like honestly, just looking at it, I wish it was still in my collection, but it's very similar kind of like to that vibe of L'Imperatrice, so that's probably why I let it go. The notes are exotic fruits. There's plum blossom, which I'm guessing is not the same as plum because I didn't get that plummy smell that really turns me off in fragrances. It did not have that. There's Brazilian mango, magnolia, frangipani, white wood, vanilla, and coconut milk. If you're looking for a summer fragrance, if you're looking for something to take on vacation, something to take on a cruise, something to take to a resort, when I tell you it is a little pricey, it's $125, but the bottle was pretty big. I think it was like a 3.4 ounce bottle, so it's kind of around the designer price at this point. That fragrance right there will have you smelling like a tropical queen, an exotic queen. Like I love it. It's beautiful, you guys. It's very tropical. It has a sweetness to it. There was also like a creaminess to it, so it did have a little thickness to it. It wasn't too thin or watery, and it's just gorgeous. So I don't have it in my collection no more just because I had to downsize at that time and I was just stressing out. It was too many perfumes for me to have to move, you know, overseas. It's just very difficult. Now my next move, hopefully hopefully won't be an overseas move, so I can just pack them up in a truck and just take them. So it's not going to be like that for me now. If I wanted to have a huge collection right now, I could, but I am trying to keep it at a certain amount of craziness. But yeah, this one is such a good one. I'm gonna put the information in the description box. They did not pay me, it's not sponsored, and they gifted me the fragrance, but they never told me what to say. I never was obligated to anything. It was literally just, we're gonna send you this, let us know what you think, type of thing. And I definitely think that it's one worth looking into. So that is the first one. Next up in the haul, we have Chloe EDP, which of course is still in my collection. I have talked about this in previous videos. I absolutely love this perfume. This was one of my signature scents back in like 2016-ish when I was working. I still hadn't moved with my husband. I was still living in Miami. And every time I wore this, my boss at the time, she always used to compliment me on this perfume. And this is just like the girl next door, a little powdery, yet it has like an aquatic touch to it. I have told you guys that if you want something that smells similar to Delina La Rose and you want to go a little bit more on the affordable route, this is the one to look into. It's super, super similar to that fragrance. A little bit more powdery than Delina La Rose, but not too much. It's not mature in my opinion. It has this youthful touch to it while still being very classy, very girl next door, not too sexy, but it's still very pretty and beautiful. And it does have rose, but it's more of like a pink rose petal, very soft. It's so beautiful. I'm very, very picky when it comes to rose fragrances, and this one just does it for me. I do have a tiny bottle because I don't reach for it as much as I should, so I definitely should be wearing it some more. I would love to bring back a full bottle of this into my collection. I've had like 3 bottles of this in my life because at one point it was one of my signature scents when I didn't have like a huge collection, so I did go through it way quicker. Now I will say, at least in my experience, I don't go too crazy with the sprays because this can get a little cloying if you get too heavy with the sprays, because it does have that rose in there. But if you do like 3 sprays of it, you're gonna smell amazing. And if you can handle more sprays, totally fine. But if you're like me and you can get a little sensitive, this is not one that I overspray because the performance is amazing. It lasted all day on me. And again, very delicate and just very soft. I really, really love Chloe EDP. So in the same set that I got this little baby bottle, because this is a 0.5 ounce, I got this in a set with Chloe Nomade. And that one is gone from my collection. I could not do Chloe Nomade. I couldn't do it. So the main accords for Chloe Nomade are woody, citrus, fruity, mossy, earthy, floral, sweet, powdery, warm, spicy, and patchouli. The notes are maribel, bergamot, lemon, and orange. Middle notes are freesia, peach, jasmine, and rose. And the base note is oak moss, patchouli, amberwood, white musk, and sandalwood. Now, my problem with Chloe Nomade is that I don't pick up all of those citrusy, no peach, barely the florals. My nose went straight to the oak moss, which I've actually liked oak moss in many fragrances, but it's blended in a way where I can get everything else and just get a bit of the oak moss. This was just like the patchouli, the oak moss, the amberwood, like all of those base notes smelled very, very masculine on my skin. And it reminded me of a cologne that my grandpa used to wear. And my grandpa passed away last year, so now it's maybe a scent that I would like to smell once in a while, because for some reason when I first sprayed that perfume, it just reminded me of this cologne called Drakkar that he used to wear a lot. I think he used to wear that cologne, and it just reminded me of that. So on me, it's just very, very masculine. It's not feminine at all, and I just didn't enjoy that scent. So that one, I think my mom took it, or I gave it to my grandma in Puerto Rico, or someone in my family. I know I gifted it to someone in my family. So Chloe Nomade, not for me, but the performance is amazing. If you like more of like a woody unisex type of scent, that's a good one to look into. It was way too masculine for me though. Next up, we have Viktor and Rolf Flowerbomb Nectar. I gave this one to my mom. So when it comes to Flowerbomb, I've never liked it, and my mom actually wore Flowerbomb a lot. I remember going to the mall with her. Whenever she would get like gift cards or anything like that, she would go and buy a perfume. So my mom really loves perfumes, and she used to wear the original Flowerbomb and it always smelled so good on her. But Flowerbomb on me always smells kind of like, I don't know if I'm the only one. Let me know if this happens to any of you, but Flowerbomb on me almost comes off as like a screechy metallic or like chemical type of smell. I don't get like this beautiful floral smell. It just smells metallic, which is super duper weird. Viktor and Rolf Flowerbomb Nectar was actually the first flower bomb before Ruby Orchid that I came close to really liking, but then it never got quite to like that love category. So I did have Nectar in my collection, and the main accords for Flowerbomb Nectar are vanilla, amber, aromatic, smoky, warm, spicy, fruity, white floral, sweet, soft, spicy, and patchouli. And the notes are gunpowder, cassis, and bergamot, osmanthus, orange blossom, and jasmine sambac, and the base notes are vanilla, tonka bean, benzoin, and patchouli. This fragrance was definitely a little bit more on the sweeter side compared to the original Flowerbomb, but again, I kind of got a little bit of like that metallic-y kind of sharpness in it. So I did wear it a few times. I was trying to work myself up to liking it, but then my mom came to visit me one time in Puerto Rico, and when she smelled Flowerbomb Nectar, she went crazy over it. And as soon as I saw how much she loved it, I was just like, take it, go ahead and take it, because that type of excitement was not there for me with that one. So it's much better to me in my opinion than the original Flowerbomb. It's a little bit more sweet, it's a little bit less harsh for me, but it still wasn't what I wanted it to be. And then Ruby Orchid was released, and I did love that one for a really long time. I recently decluttered it just because I was kind of over it. I used it quite a bit. The Ruby Orchid was by far my favorite so far. I do have Tiger Lily on the way. I'm going to be reviewing it soon. We'll see how I feel about that one. But yeah, Viktor and Rolf Flowerbomb Nectar is no longer in my collection. But again, if you love your more like floral, sexy, grown-up scents, I would recommend that, and it definitely lasts a long time. So the performance, if you want something that's going to perform great, have great sillage, projection, all of that, that's a good one to look into. But I think it is polarizing, and I definitely would recommend sampling it for sure. Next up, we have Hugo Boss, the scent for her. The main accords are fruity, floral, sweet, cacao, and lactonic. And the notes for this one are peach, freesia, osmanthus, and cacao. And this fragrance right here, again, it was probably decluttered from my collection when I was kind of going through like my chicken with my head cut off. I got a downsize type of phase, but it's a beautiful, beautiful perfume if you love peach. I think it smells amazing, and I think it's pretty similar to, I don't remember if Pretty as a Peach from Bath and Body Works reminded me of it, but if you love Pretty as a Peach, if you love very peachy, juicy fragrances, definitely look into that one. Now, the downside of Hugo Boss, the scent for her, is that it just doesn't last a long time. So you're gonna put it on and maybe a couple hours later, at least on me, I know we're all different, but on me it didn't really last a long time. But it's super juicy, it's super girly, nothing wrong with the fragrance. I still think it's really, really nice. If I was to like come across one of those bottles, maybe at like a TJ Maxx or something like that, I would definitely probably be tempted to pick it up, because it's such a perfect scent for like spring and summer. Very like uplifting, happy, pretty, just very pretty perfume. If you love girly fragrances, if you love to smell very juicy and flirty and just girly, that's one that I would recommend. But you have to like peach, because it's all about the peach with that one. So that is Hugo Boss, the scent for her. Next up, I went through like this whole thing where I wanted to find a Mon Paris fragrance that worked for me, because YSL Mon Paris was one of the biggest blind buy fails in my life. I bought the original Mon Paris EDP, and when I opened that fragrance, I remember like it was yesterday, I sprayed it and I was like, what the what the hell is this? It was just, it smelled like I had just sprayed dirt on myself. I couldn't get none of the whole like strawberries and juicy and flirty. No, it was not that for me. So I started kind of going through like the flankers to see which one could maybe work for me. So I did pick up, I honestly don't remember right now which ones I liked the most, because I ended up getting rid of all of them. But the flankers did work better for me. So I did end up picking up the Intense Mint, which is fruity, rose, floral, sweet, woody, vanilla, fresh, musky, powdery, citrus. The notes are raspberry, blackcurrant, pear, orange, and bergamot. There is a lot of rose, peony, datura, freesia. Then you have vanilla, patchouli, white musk, benzoin, and cashmere. So I believe the Intense Mint I did like. I haven't watched that haul over, and I honestly don't remember how they smell because there's so many flankers of that perfume. So honestly, I can tell you that I enjoyed them much better than the original Mon Paris, and I didn't pick up that patchouli that was dirty. So there is patchouli in the Intense Mint, but I didn't really pick up like that dirty scent to it. And then I also picked up the Couture. So the Couture is more, looks like it's more citrusy, and it says it's citrusy, fruity, rose, floral, musky, sweet, fresh, powdery, white floral, and fresh spicy. This one has notes of raspberry, grapefruit, lychee, mandarin orange, bergamot, middle notes of peony, rose, orange blossom, datura, so very similar. Now this one has white musk, patchouli, cashmere, and ambroxan. So this one sounds like it might be like the more airy, easier to wear one. I did get rid of both of them. I can't really sit here and go into a very like detailed review on those, but I will let you guys know that if Mon Paris doesn't work for you like it didn't for me, I do have some fragrances in my collection that have the Mon Paris DNA, but they don't have that dirty touch to them. So first is a body mist from Bath and Body Works, and this is You're the One, which many people go back and forth with this one. Some people say that this reminds them of Mon Paris, which it does to me, but then there's also people who say that it reminds them of Lancome Idole, which I can also definitely see that. But this to me is kind of like what I wanted Mon Paris to smell like without that patchouli. So if you're looking for like a body mist, maybe to either layer with Mon Paris or something that smells like it but doesn't have that dirty touch, this for sure. And I also have this fragrance, which is more pricey than Mon Paris, but this gives me that scent DNA without that dirty touch. It smells very sparkly, fizzy, girly, just that scent DNA from Mon Paris, but just exactly how I wanted it to be. And this is Pink Me Up. And this bottle is so beautiful. This is definitely not a fragrance that I pick up on an everyday basis. This is definitely more, I'm gonna go out somewhere, I want to smell very sexy and girly, and just, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful scent, but not one that I would wear on a casual day. This is, to me, is date night, going somewhere where I want to dress up. New Year's, it really makes me think of like New Year's Eve or like your birthday where you want to dress up really pretty and just have a scent that can make you feel your best. Like you have your makeup done, your hair, you have a beautiful outfit, that type of thing. This right here really reminds me of Mon Paris, but it's definitely refined, it's elevated, it's like smoother to me. Not the type of scent that I go for because it's definitely floral. It's like a rose that I have to be kind of like in the mood for, but it's a nice fragrance for me to have in my collection when I am gonna go somewhere, which I'm a homebody, I'm always home. But every once in a while, especially around the holidays or even like Valentine's Day, this is gorgeous. So this is what I have in my collection that kind of is taking the place of Mon Paris. So I think that is it. I think I did all of the fragrances. We are done with this Did They Stay or Did They Go? I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts on the fragrances that I talked about today. If you love them, if you don't like them, why they work for you, why they don't work for you. Cannot wait to read your comments. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And I will see you guys in the next one.